Alright, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy E again. Bringing you two updates, actually. Actually, it's been a while. I kind of got caught in between from the time I test till now. It's let's see, it's the 19th. It's the 19th of January. I forget when I tested. I think it was like the 12th or the 14th. I forget. Anywho, all right. So the good news is I passed. That's the good news. So where we left off was I did my pre-trip and my in-cab inspection and my air brake inspection, and the instructor was really impressed with, you know, the memorization of all the parts. So basically I nailed that part. I felt really good. The only other part that I was nervous about was the actual on the road and the maneuvers. So truthfully, I did pretty good. I felt like I did pretty good, but I mess up, you know, on the little things. You know, like I got so, like my main concern was the parallel, because I wasn't really familiar with the approach that they wanted me to use to do the parallel, but I nailed that one the first round, so that was cool. And then she had me do the alley dock, and I felt like the alley dock I had a pretty good handle on, so I pretty much nailed it, but I think she wanted me to straighten it out a little bit, so I got docked for 1 point going up, you know, moving forward once, which wasn't too bad. I mean, I see some people test that day that it looked like nightmares. Like I was like, oh man, I hope I don't do that. So that one was cool. The one that I thought I had the most down ends up being the one that I was like kicking myself later because I could have done way better. And that was the straight line. You know, you got your approach, and then you move forward, and then you back up in a straight line. And I don't know why I lined up perfectly. My cab was straight. Everything, the trailer was straight. Everything was straight. And then as I kept my wheels straight, I could feel the vehicle kind of veering. And I tried to make adjustments, but I don't know. I guess left was right, right was left, and my brain got boggled a little bit, and for some reason I just, I had to do that again, so I got 1 point for that. It was cool. I had a good examiner. She told me, okay, hey, you passed, everything's good, go ahead and park right there, and we'll go ahead and go over the road, and we'll go on the road and do our test. So it was cool. I parked and I waited and waited and waited and waited. I was like, man, I'm waiting so much. I turned off the truck. I didn't want to idle too much. And it's like every body that I saw pass the truck, I jumped like, oh, I was getting nervous because that was the part that I was most anxious about. So long story short, like 20 minutes later, she goes to the truck and she says, "Have you been waiting all this time?" And I was like, yeah. And she's like, why? I'm like, because you told me to. And so she forgot. I don't know, something slipped her brain and she forgot. And but I kept a good attitude on me. Started the vehicle and we took our drive. And for the most part, it was cool. She picked a really good route. I got tested in pretty much all the areas. We went past the gravesite, we went past the school, went past like residentials, went past businesses. So I mean, she did really good at picking the route. I got docked for two things. One of the ones is I guess I was still fighting my nerves, and we're at a left light, a red light, left turn approach. So I was the very first vehicle on the line. So I had the red light. I stopped. I looked both ways. I was checking my mirrors, and I think what happened was I took my eyes off the light for a split second to check my mirrors, and right when I took my eyes off the light, it turned green. And so she says, "Hey, you might want to go because this light doesn't stay green for a long time." I was like, crap. I'm kicking myself, so I put it in the gear and I went, but like, dang it. So I had to keep my eye on the light better. So that was the first one I got docked. The second one I kind of was anticipating because I've been having trouble when I was practicing, and that was the we were about to make a left turn with vehicles approaching, and I was reducing my speed. I was waiting for one more vehicle to cross so then I can make my left turn. But as I reduce my speed, basically what happens is I'm in fifth. I'm allowing it to slow down the vehicle, and I'm about to put it into third so I can make my turn. But the thing is, I don't know, I think I went too fast for third, and it wouldn't go into the gear, so I grinded the gears a little bit. So it was like, I was like, oh crap! I panicked. I panicked and I threw it back into fifth. And then, you know, fifth, obviously, when you're going that slow, isn't meant for that gear, so it's a sputter. It's like, you know, put. It's like that kind of thing. So bottom line is, I muscled through that turn only to be able to go slow enough to put it in the third and continue. So I guess the key is, obviously, you know, practice makes perfect. But on that note, you know, I don't know, to keep it cool, like, I had to keep reminding myself, and you know, I was kind of muttering under my breath, just stuff like, okay, shake it off, come on, you got to do the rest of this thing, you know, get it done, be flawless, you know. And so that was my mentality, is to shake off whatever errors I had, and to pretend like, you know, I'm good. Let's keep moving. I'm a professional, you know, the best I can. So anywho, she was like, hey, yeah, you passed, all right, great, you know. And so I think I was the last one of the day, because I was the last truck. There's nobody else there. I think they closed shop. I think I ended up maybe being done by 4, and then that's the time that they closed. So she shook my hand, the instructor shook my hand, you know, my driving instructor shook my hand, and everybody, you know, said, okay, bye, you know. So it's kind of, you know, I guess that's the way it works. So, you know, they gave my papers, and I left, and then, okay, so that's the first update. The second update is this. They gave me my papers, and she hand wrote on everything, saying, you know, this is where I messed up, this is where I did good, and she signed it. She had me sign it, and that was, you know, the process. And so I took it back to my DMV. First I showed my parents the papers, like showing, hey, I passed. And my mom, who used to work for the DMV, says, well, where's your permit thingy, you know? Where's your permit, you know, temporary, this, that, and the other? And I was like, this is all they gave me. And she's like, no, you're supposed to have them, you know, or supposed to take it to them, and yada, 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 and they're supposed to give you something. So, long story short is, you know, I took it to my DMV. My DMV looks at me and says, we don't do this anymore. We don't handwrite anymore. Because, you know, that's how fraud is done. You know? So, you know, it was tough. I'm cutting the story down, but bottom line is this. I waited about 3 hours at the DMV, which is not a problem. I really could care less about waiting. The point is, waiting at the DMV for 3 hours, only for them to tell me, you know, they can't help me because they think I'm a fraud. You know, she's like, technically what I should do is I should, you know, turn you into the fraud prevention, and they should investigate you, and yada, yada, yada. Or I could give you back your papers, and you could drive them back up to San Bernardino and get it done. So that was pretty cheap. That was messed up. So shouts out to all my friends at the DMV. You weren't looking good that day, but it's all good. I mean, you know, I'm trying to hate on it. Keep a good attitude and let's keep moving. But for the most part, that's what I'm doing. So now I'm driving. I have 70 miles to drive to my test site to hopefully go over there, them not give me any static, and then they can just pass me, get my stuff done, give me my papers, and I can finally apply for some jobs. So that's what my goal is, and I'm trying to, you know, stay positive throughout it all. So anyways, reason why I say all that, to tell, you know, any future drivers that when you test, man, be thorough. I had something in the back of my brain kind of telling me, should you have done something? So anyways, you know, be thorough, you know, take your papers back into the building, say, hey, am I done, or do I need to give you these, and all that other stuff. So don't make the same mistake I did. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm happy, you know, I got to pass the test, I got that part over with, and, you know, now I'm just gonna go get my permit and have my CDL Class A. And then I will update you guys when, because now my next thing is to go through the job application process and start applying. The ones that I've chosen, I mean, honestly, it's all a 50-50 gamble anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and try Schneider, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply for Swift, and let's see what they got. I mean, that's the best I can do. I mean, I hear some people say it's a nightmare. I hear some people say, oh, it's pretty cool. I have no clue, and the only way to do it is trial by fire, I guess. So until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. All right.